Welcome back, Falcons. We hope your break was restful and that you have a renewed energy to tackle the spring semester. In the last advisory, we learned that it's important to start smart and stay on track. Today, we are going to write a new semester resolution that will help us get off to a great start toward a goal and align our behaviors towards a successful result. According to an article on mindtools.com, there are 5 golden rules for successful goal setting. The first rule is to set goals that motivate you. Make sure the goal you set is really important to you and that you find value in achieving it. This is a good time to be selfish. Although achieving your goal may help others as well, make sure your primary focus is on you. The second goal is to set SMART goals. This means that the goal should be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. The third rule is to set goals in writing. The act of writing it down makes it real. When writing it, use powerful words like will versus would like to. Then post it in a visible place to remind you of your goal each day. The fourth rule is make an action plan. This is the part often missed, skipped, or forgotten in the goal writing process, but it's the most important part. Don't get so focused on the outcome that you forget the steps it will take to get there. It is particularly important to do this if your goal is challenging. Behaviors need to be aligned to the goal to ensure you achieve it. Sometimes this requires creating new behaviors or perhaps changing current behaviors. The fifth rule is to stick with it. Most goals aren't achieved quickly or easily. It will likely take much time and effort. After writing your action plan, you may find that you need to create new habits. If this is the case, behavioral changes can be challenging at first, but if you stick with it, those behaviors will soon become habits and come much more easily. So I was trying to think of an example that I could give you to help illustrate the importance of when you set a goal, making sure that you set your behaviors, align them in order so that you can achieve success. And I remembered a student that I had several years ago, and she was having a hard time staying awake in class. And so I was doing a goal writing activity with my students, and her goal that she wrote was that she was going to not fall asleep in class anymore. That's what she was going to try to do. So a couple weeks later, I checked in with my students, and it was just a goal check-in. Hey, how's it going? Are you accomplishing your goals? Are you on your way towards accomplishing your goals? And she was honest, and she said, I'm not on my way. I'm not doing a very good job at all. I still keep falling asleep in class. And I said, so what behaviors do you have in place to help you accomplish your goal? And she said, well, I'm just trying not to fall asleep in class. And I said, okay, well, maybe we need to try something new. So I asked her what her routine is on a normal day. And it consisted of going home, having a snack, and then taking a several-hour nap. Sometimes 3 to 4 hours of napping. And then she would wake up and do her homework, get it done. And then she would spend the majority of the rest of the night struggling to fall asleep and sometimes not falling asleep until 4 in the morning. And so we realized that her sleep patterns were probably preventing her from getting the rest that she needed to be successful the next day at school. So I said, well, maybe we need to try new behaviors, form new habits that would help you to be more successful. And so maybe instead of going home and taking a nap, you replace that time with something different that keeps you awake. And it's not going to be easy, but we should try it. So she said, okay, I'll try this. And she was honest, said it was hard at first. And, you're used to going home and taking a nap, and who doesn't love to go home and get to take a nap? But even though a couple days she did still fall asleep or she slept for shorter amounts of time, the majority of the next couple weeks she really focused on not taking those naps. And after 2 solid weeks of not going home and falling asleep, rather doing something else that replaced that time, she was able then to fall asleep at a more reasonable time at night, get more sleep during the night, and then she was more successful the next day at school, not falling asleep in her classes. And so I thought that was a good example of saying you can say you have a goal, but unless you put specific actions in place, align your behaviors towards the success of that goal, then you may not be as successful in accomplishing it. So now it's your turn to write a SMART goal with an action plan to guide your behaviors so that you will be able to achieve success. Your teacher has a worksheet for you to guide your goal setting. We decided not to put this in your workbook so that you could keep this paper somewhere convenient and visible. Read it daily to remind you of your goal. This will help you stick with it. Later in the semester, we'll check in to see if you're making progress towards your goal. Good luck, Falcons. We hope you have the best semester yet.